Third grade. We are here. We are here. We are here. We are here. It's time to celebrate. It is time to celebrate. My dog's going crazy right now trying to catch all these pieces. Do you see what's on our page today? We are here. We have arrived. But it doesn't, because it was homemade, so it doesn't, so that's why I'm just holding it. But we have made it to our 12 multiplication table. Here it is, guys. Look at it. We're almost, hey, you stop. We're almost done. We just have our 12 division, and then we're done with our multiplication and division tables. How excited are you about that? All right, I guess I'll pause the music for a little bit so you can actually hear me over that. So I want everybody to stand with me as we are going to say our 12 multiplication table together. All right, ready? 0 times 12 equals 0. 1 times 12 equals 12. 2 times 12 equals 24. 3 times 12 equals 36. 4 times 12 equals 48. 5 times 12 equals 60. 6 times 12 equals 72. 7 times 12 equals 84. 8 times 12 equals 96. 9 times 12 equals 108. 10 times 12 equals 120. 11 times 12 equals 132. 12 times 12 equals 144. We have done it. We've learned them all. And the cool thing about this table, you all know, the coolest thing, because I've told you this pretty much in every table, is that we only have so many to learn because we've already learned most of them. Well, what's the only one that we have to learn? Bam! 12 times 12, because we already know all the way through our 11s. So the only one that we would have to memorize that we might not already have memorized, which is really, really simple, 12 times 12 equals 144, is the 12 times 12. Everything else we already know. How awesome is that? Now, you know, I like to show you cool things from our tables that might help us to remember them. So the cool thing with our 12 table that I like to mention is that if you look, the first four, they go 1, 2, 3, 4, right in order. Also 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 0, 2, 4, 6, 8, 10, 0, 2, 4, and it would just keep going. So you're going up by 2s for every 1's place. And then for the first bit, you're going up by 1s, 1, 2, 3, 4. And what I like to think is, because 1 times 12, it's going to be something with a 1 in the front. Oh, it's going to have a 2 as well because 2 comes first. Oh, it's going to be 24. Oh, it's going to be 36. Oh, it's going to be 48. They're half of each other, or double each other, however you want to look at it. 1 plus 1 is 2, or 1 times 1, or 1 times 2, 2 times 2, 3 plus 3, 4 plus 4. Okay, so that's all it is. Then when we come down to the 5, then it jumps to the next number. 5 jumps up to 6, and 6 jumps up to 7, and 7 jumps up to 8, and 8 jumps up to 9, and 9 jumps up to 10. Okay, but it's still 0, 2, 4, 6, 8. Okay, then when we get to 10, they jump up by 2. 10 jumps up to 12, 11 jumps up to 13, jumps up twice. 12 jumps up to 14, jumps up twice as well. Okay, so I don't know if that will help you or not, but that's what I like to think of sometimes when I'm thinking, oh, what is this times 12? I will remember, oh yeah, 6 is going to have to be something with a 7. 8 is going to have to be something with a 9. 9 is going to be something with a 10, and then go from there. So hopefully that will help you. So go back to the beginning of this and say them again. I don't want to take too much time with our videos to keep saying them over and over, but you know how Miss Monroe would normally do in a classroom, like, okay, now girls stand and say that. Now boys, now say it in a cartoon voice. 0 times 12 equals 0. 1 times 12 equals 12. 2 times 12 equals 24. 3 times. Do a cartoon voice. Do it in a robot voice. 0 times 12 equals 0. 1 times 12 equals 12. Whatever you need to do, but review your 12 multiplication table. It's the last one. It's not that hard. And so you can have fun with it. Well, obviously, 12 multiplication table is easy to remember when we think of our eggs, because eggs come by the dozen, and we already know that a dozen is 12 things. So Nicholas's mom, Nana, she gave me 3 dozen eggs for before school got out, because she has chickens at her house. And so I got 3 dozen. Obviously you can see 2 are gone, but what is 3 dozen? Right, it's 36, because each time I have one of these, it's 12. 12, 24, 36, 48, 60, 72, 84. We could just keep going. You're adding, all you're doing for your 12 multiplication table is you're adding 12 to each time. You're adding 12 to itself, 12 to the next number, 12 to the next number, 12 to, and that's all that you are doing to get your answers for the 12 multiplication table. So think of your dozen. Think of your eggs, or think of, a dozen cookies or cupcakes, something like that. And that's what's going to help you, because sometimes, we've talked about this when we talked about our dozen, sometimes when a recipe is telling you, oh, this is going to make 5 dozen, cookies. Well, you need to know, well, how many cookies is that? Well, you're going to easily know, oh, 5 dozen equals 60 cookies. Okay, it's going to be a very simple thing to think through. So that's what I want you to do. Be celebrating today. 12 multiplication table. We're done with our multiplication tables. We only have 12 division left, and then we're done with our multiplication and division. How exciting is that? So I hope that you are excited about that, as excited as I am. Now I got to clean up all this mess on my floor. I hope you appreciate what I've done for you, because my floor looks a mess. I might show you after. No, I probably won't. But anyway, going to page 271 in your books, page 271 in your arithmetic, obviously. Hopefully you already knew that. 12 as a factor. There are 12 hours on a clock face, 2 parts of each day. So 12 times 2 is 24, because our clock goes around twice for one day. 12 a.m. hours and 12 p.m. hours. So all you're doing for section 1 is filling in the missing numbers with your 12 multiplication table. So look at those very, very carefully. Then you are going down to section 2, where you're solving the story problems. Let's look at them together. Make sure that we're getting those correct. Mr. Martin, letter A, bought 2 gallons of paint for $39.75 each. What does that mean? He didn't pay $39.75 for the both of them together. Each one of them cost $39.75. And he bought paint supplies for $25.02. How much did he spend in all? Well, the first thing that I want you to do is I want you to find out how much it cost for the gallons of paint. So in your workspace, the very first step that I want you to do, because remember, I want you to take it by steps, so that way I know that you're understanding how it works. Take how much the paint is. So $39.75. And what are we going to do with it? Multiply it by 2. Excellent. $39.75 times 2. Then write that answer underneath. After you do $39.75 times 2, and you figure out that answer, you take that answer, add it to, what's our other number down there? $25.02. Add those together, and that will give you the total that he spent, okay? And write it as money, dollars and cents. So make sure to put your dollar sign and decimal point. Good. Now letter B. It's an easy one. For dessert last night, the Andrews ate 3/8 of a cherry pie. How much pie is left? What? How are we supposed to fit? They didn't even give you another number, Miss Monroe. How are we supposed to fit? No. You already have all the numbers that you need, okay? They ate 3/8 of a cherry pie. These are the 2 numbers that you need. How many pieces are there all together is always our denominator, right? And then the numerator just tells how many pieces were used or how many pieces were eaten in this instance. So if they ate 3/8, go ahead and draw it out if you need to. Draw your circle. Remember, if you're struggling with story problems, one of the great things with story problems is that you can draw them out. So draw, some pie, cherry pie. You can color it red if you want to. And then color in 1, 2, 3/8 of that. And then you can figure out how much is left. So remember, you don't need to have adding or subtracting because you already know if it's 3 out of 8, then how many pieces were left. See, now it's as hard as you think. So that's why you just always have to kind of think it through. We get stressed out over story problems. Don't let that happen. Just take it easy and enjoy them, okay? Section 3, all you're doing is multiplying by 11. That's really simple. Then you go on to the back, divide and check. Look at those carefully. Then section 5, we're doing better with our reducing, but some of you are still not reducing as far as you can. So look at these carefully and go as low as you can go. So start with 16 and go down. Now okay, let me do this for you, and I'm trying not to take too long on this video, but I really want to show you because on an old, I don't know if it was a test or if it was a quiz, I can't remember, it's asking you to put the numbers that you can divide both by. When you do that, start with the lowest. I know I've told you to start with the biggest number and go down, but when you're writing it out, start with the smallest number and go up. So I can divide 16 by 2, I can divide 16 by 4, and then 8, and then 16 is the only other one. Now with 20, I can divide it by 2, I can divide it by 4, and 5, and 10, and 20, okay? So those are the numbers that I can divide them by. Now that I'm looking at this group of numbers for both of them, I have to see what is my largest number in all of these numbers. And when I look for that number, 4 is the largest that is in both that I can divide by. That's how I know what to divide by automatically, okay? So divide both by 4 because 2, 4, 8, and 16, 2, 4, 5, 10, 20. 4 is the even, the common denominator, the common factor that I can divide both by. Okay, does that make sense? So think that through carefully, and that's what they were asking, and that's why they had you write them going from smallest to largest and then circle the one that's the same in both. So think that through carefully when you are doing your reducing. Then you have your Roman numerals that you are changing to Arabic numerals. Letter F, by the way, that's close to what I was giving you for that problem last week or a couple weeks ago when I was like, let's solve this magic number, and some of you almost did, but that's close to what I was doing, MCM, okay? So think carefully about that one. Round to the nearest dollar, section 7, you know how to do those, and then find the fractional part. Some of them have remainders. If they have a remainder, write them as fractions. Don't just write, an even number. 1/2 of 15, there isn't half of 15. You can't take 15 and cut it equally in half. So make sure to put a mixed number for that answer, okay, for letter A. And then there might be one for another one of them as well. So look carefully. Do your temperature, and then all you're doing is finding the perimeter of the bow tie. Okay, so work carefully on this page. This is our celebration page because we are on our last multiplication table, and you should be so proud of yourselves because you've done them all. Now, if you don't know some of them, then you better go back and review, because those that have learned them all, we are almost done. And all we have left is our 12 division. So I hope that you're proud of yourselves. Give yourselves big pats on the back and do a big hurrah, okay? Because you made it and we've only got a little bit left. So keep plugging away. We're almost to the end and you guys are doing excellent, excellent, excellent. And I'm so proud of you and you should be proud of yourselves. See you later.